So I want to let you know about the angelic forces that are around you most of the time. And I want to teach y'all about the help that you have that you're not even aware of in the spiritual realm. All right, now you got to remember that a lot of people say that Lucifer is a cherub, right? And that is true, but you got to remember that cherubims are separated in three categories, right? Now we're going to start with the angels that are closest to the Father, the most powerful ones. We're going to start from the greatest to the least. Okay, we're going to start from the ones that are closest to the throne and to the ones that's near us here on earth. We're going to start from the Father all the way down to the humans and where the angels are lined up at. So first, you already know we have the seraphim, right? Now, a lot of people call these, now in the Hebrew text, it's also known as seraphim, right? Now, the meaning of the seraphim it's just a fiery serpent. Okay, yes, that's the meaning of it. It means fiery serpent / dragon. And it's also synonymous to the Hebrew text, which means glorious shining serpent, glorious shining dragon. Okay, now these angels are responsible for covering the throne of the Father. Okay, now they hover over the throne of the Almighty God. They're very powerful. Okay, now these angels don't come into any direct contact with human beings. All right, now you have to remember that the animals of the earth get their looks from the angels, right? Now, so in this case, the seraphim, okay, now these guys have a reptilian type of look. Now, these guys are the models for reptilians and amphibians here on the planet. Okay, this is where the amphibian order gets their look from. Okay, also the dinosaurs get their looks from these type of angels right here. Okay, now you have to remember these guys are the highest canopy over the sun's head, which makes them the most powerful. Okay, now Lucifer was the chief over each and every single one of these seraphim before he fell, which is why it's very deep with Lucifer, which is why his pride is very, very deep. He had to get kicked out of the eternal realm, okay, because he thought that he can take over the Father himself because he was the closest. He was a seraphim. Okay, yes, a lot of people say that Lucifer was a cherub, but you got to remember that cherubs are separated into three different parts. Okay, now Lucifer was the first seraphim, which is the highest angel closest to the throne. Now you have to remember that I think in the Apocrypha it says that Lucifer walking on the fiery coals guarding the throne of the Almighty. Okay, now that sounds about accurate because that's where the seraphims are. They're the closest ones to the throne. The only thing is though, Lucifer was the first angel to ever come out of existence. He was the first seraphim, which is in the order of the cherubims. There's three orders, right? There's three categories of cherubims, the seraphim being the first one, the closest one to the Father, and that's where Lucifer was. He was the very first one. He was all of the angels' big brother. That's why his pride was so, that's why it's very deep with him. Okay, he was the first angel to ever come out into existence that Christ created. Okay, now you have to remember, sitting on the side of the throne, we have the Zoa, Z-O-A, we have the Zoa. Okay, now they immediately cover the head of the sun. Okay, now each Zoa is also called a Zun, right? Now, what am I trying to say? You got to remember in the Bible, there was an angel, there were four angels, one with a lion face, one with a calf face, and one with an eagle face, right? Now, these are called Zuns. These different categories of angels are called Zuns. So one Zun, right? Like I said, the creatures of the earth get their looks from these angels. So one Zun had what? A lion face. Right now, what did that represent? It represented the predator. Remember the Bible said that another Zun had a calf face, right? And that represented the herd of the earth. And the third Zun had what? An eagle face. And that represented the flying creatures of the earth. And the fourth Zun had like a human face, an anthropoid face. Okay, now that basically represents the primates. Okay, now these guys are also known to watch over the prophetic mysteries over there told in Revelation concerning Israel and what's going to happen to them. Okay, next we have the Ophanim, right? These are the circular ones, the sphere angels, the ones that are shaped like wheels. Okay, full of eyes on their brim. Okay, now burning with fire, watching over the prophecies of Israel as well. Now you can catch these angels over there, Zechariah and Daniel had many visions of these angels right here, okay? After that, we have what? We have the dominions, of course, right? Now you have to remember the dominions, they are constantly involved in your human affairs. These are the ones that are a little bit more closer to us, but the dominions, these guys are in charge of all the other rankings under them as well. Now, it's also said that they have divine authorities over some of the cherubs. Okay, now these guys are involved in great emergencies, right? So like if you have a great emergency, you don't know how you're gonna get out of it. Let's say like you survived a freak accident, the whole car was on fire, God forbid, but you still ended up getting out. Most likely you still ended up surviving it. Now you have a testimony. Most likely one of these guys was involved. that night or that day. God forbid that ever happened to any one of us. But if you have a testimony of you getting into some kind of freak accident, you ended up surviving it, most likely a dominion was there to help you. Okay, now after that, we got the virtues, right? Can't forget the virtues, right? Okay, now these guys maintain order in the universe. That's their job, to maintain order in the universe, right? Now these guys take care of all the celestial bodies as well. Yeah, they're in charge of the stars, the planets, and everything inside the universe, okay, the galaxies, the black holes, the nebulas. That's what these guys are in charge of, keeping order in the universe. Okay, now they also help human beings to realize their God-given purpose. All right, now those are the virtues. Okay, now the powers are very important when it comes to you running this race that the Father has called you to run, because these guys are here to restrain demonic influence. Okay, now these guys will help you to overcome your temptation. Okay, now these guys are here to save you from the affliction of demons. Let's say you got a hex on you. People are practicing witchcraft on you. They're trying to get you out of here before your time. Most likely, you getting through a situation like that is because of the help of the powers. Okay, the so-called the powers that be. But we're talking about the angelic realm. These guys are very and heavily involved in human affairs. Okay, now let's move on to the third sphere. Okay, now everybody know what the third sphere, we're about to get into Michael, we're about to get into Gabriel. Now, what is it called? Now, the third sphere are the angels that are more closer to us, right? These are called the celestial messengers, right? Okay, now, first of all, we have the principalities, okay? Now, they watch over the institution of the churches and every corporation. So they're closest to us, right? These angels are very far from the Most High because they're all the way here. They're close to us. They're involved in our affairs, not heavenly affairs, okay? Now, we have the archangels, of course. Now, we already know who Michael is. Now, he gives courage and directions to human beings, and he gives you motivation as well. We know who Jophiel is. Right now, this is a feminine creature right here. Okay, this is a feminine angel. Now, Jophiel means the beauty of the Lord. Okay, this is a feminine creature. This angel is probably a girl creature, right? And it helps talented people to point out unique points of view. All right, this is what this angel does. It helps talented people to get unique points of view. All right, now Jophiel is the name of this angel. Now, this is a feminine angel. This is a girl angel. The name Jophiel means beauty, the beauty of God, the beauty of Yahweh. Okay, now then we have Shamuel. Okay, now that's with a CH. Okay, now the meaning of Shamuel is he who sees the Father. Right, and we already know who Raphael is. Right, now that guy maintains harmony. All right, now we already know who Gabriel is, right? And that guy works with the journalists and the teachers and the writers, right? And we know who Azrael is, right? Now that guy works in soul transitioning, okay? And it comforts grieving souls. Let's say if your family member died, let's say, somebody close to you. Now that's probably the angel responsible for comforting you. If somebody close to you ever passed away, or if you're grieving, you know what I mean? If you're going through some turmoil in your life right there now, of course, the closest angels to mankind would be the guardian angels. Right? And these guys protect us from every unpleasant situation. Okay, and they help us to know the will of the Father.